Hi, my name is Thomas Hill, and I work in the healthcare department at Walsh Group, and I am in the construction technology department more specifically, and I will be there for 10 years now. The best thing I can say about working in the construction technology department within healthcare is the vast amount of complex projects that we get to work on, but also be creative in how we deliver a message or tell a story. And the creativity doesn't go off the rails just because we have deadlines that we have to follow. So I think the freedom of creativity and being held accountable through deadlines is what I pretty much like the most about my job. Brian Walsh ended up sending me an email that made me realize that this is the place that I want to be and that I can continue to grow here. At that time, I needed to hear those words, and it was just a simple email that just said, "Thomas, I'm so happy and elated that you've been here 6 years. That's nothing to gawk over, and we really appreciate you, just extending his thanks from the family." And that email just changed my mindset. And now, 4 years later from that mark, I'm at the 10-year mark. And I look back on that and I just think that I'm glad that he sent that email, and it changed my perspective on how I can continue to grow my career. When I first met Dan Walsh, it was in the 929 building on Sangamon, and it was my first day. I decided to watch basketball as we have a basketball court in our headquarters. And lo and behold, Dan Walsh ends up walking out on the balcony to join me watching basketball, but I didn't know it was him. And I thought it was a good idea to say, hey, whoever decided to put a basketball court in a main office downtown was a great idea. And then Dan looks at me and says, "Hi, I'm Dan Walsh. That was my idea." And that's the story of how I met the owner of our company. And then he also went on to say that he actually plays ball. So I'm looking at him like, I'm only 20 years old at the time. I'm like, "You're gonna play ball?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got a couple things I gotta do this week, but next week I'll be back and I'll be playing." And that next week, he was in the locker room wrapping up his wrists, getting ready to play, and he played that day and he guarded me. It's a small world because my senior year in high school, I was in a program called ACE Mentor, and I ended up winning an internship with an architecture firm called Getch Partners down on Jackson in Michigan. They were the architect that designed and built the Blue Cross Blue Shield expansion that's on Randolph Street. And at that time, when I was 17, I didn't realize that Walsh Construction was actually the GC that was assigned to build it. So I did renderings for the Blue Cross Blue Shield building in that internship of that summer when I was 17. I had renderings of the Blue Cross Blue Shield building's expansion, so I kept those over the years. And as I went for an interview years later at Walsh Construction, I had those renderings in my portfolio. So the person interviewing me was like, "How did you get these? Why do you have these?" I created these. So they ended up going and getting a project manager that was actually on that job at that time. His name was Andy Ronick, and he came in to confirm were these photos real. And he definitely confirmed and said, "Yeah, I remember these." And long story short, 10 years later, I'm still here.